All right. Sister Deborah coming with a message. And I don't know how going to swing this message, but I'm going to do the best that I can, and they can do what they do best. All right. But this message is targeting the ear. I want you all to understand the mystery of the ear. Okay. The ear has power in front of it, and the ear has power in the back of it. So the ear has two sides to protect it, to assure it that you get it. And when you find yourself not being able to digest and comprehend and understand something, rest assured, I don't know. Let me wipe this off my. Rest assured, you need to go back to the altar and really find out where you stand. Because what Sister Deborah have learned is that the ear has some power in front of it, and it has some power in the back of it to cause it to hear what the Spirit of the Most High is saying. That's deep, because a lot of people look at things based on what they could see and they understand, or even what they hear in their natural ear, and they feel, hey, I understand it makes sense. But you know what? This is why, whew, the word have existed. And I'm not talking about your King James Bible or your 1611, or the word has exist, but so many people have destroyed the part that many could grip but can't grip. But they gave them something more like a fake word. And that's when you get the Bible and you get uh, the the King James 1611 and all these lost books and all these Enoch book. Now listen to what I'm saying. When I say false, you got to also understand, he that has an ear, hear what I say. The reason why people can't understand what I'm saying and can't get it is because they don't have that ear that has the power in front of it, nor do they have that ear that has the power behind it. It is a spiritual ear to hear. And this is also a form of dividing the wheat from the tare, dividing the night from the light, the darkness from the light, dividing he that is born of the spirit from he that is born of the flesh. You see, it's so many things that people have before them, but yet do they hear what the spirit of the creator is saying? No, they don't. They just assume I got it, and I don't care what nobody say. I know truth. I know what I'm talking about. And they feel in that they understand. No, you can't understand. You can only understand by that ear that can hear. And that ear that can hear has the power in front of it, and it has the power in back of it. This is the reason why it is capable of hearing. And as I sit back and I think about how many things that they have taken out of the Stros, it wasn't in their power to do so, but it was in the Father's power. You know, let me give you a little bit what I'm saying. You know the example of Job, how Job was able to Satan was able to do certain things to Job, but he was also limited. You get what I'm saying? This is showing you the power of this creator that has created all things. He still put limitations. Okay, let me do that. I had to take that off. Uh, uh, they still put limitations. Okay, the Father put limitations on Satan, that Satan just couldn't pull up on Job and do what he wanted to Job. Okay, and Satan was fully aware that it wasn't anything that I can do to Job except the power of the Father's right hand touched Job. So when the Father's power touched Job, then Satan was able to do what he had in mind to do. But even then, he still was limited. See, but the one thing I really admire is how Satan has enough respect to know that it's nothing he can do on this earth without the Father, first and foremost, using that right hand. Satan knows that the Father has the power in his hand. Oh, he knows. I know you don't. You won't know. Many won't. Okay. But Satan knew that if he could get the Father to touch Job, oh, I think I can do something with Job. But he wasn't going to touch Job until the Father touched Job himself with that what? Right hand. That right hand holds the Father's what? Power. Okay. Now, he couldn't do it until what? The Father let him. You see? So this is the same power I'm speaking of as far as the ear. Many people are basing their understanding in their flesh so 100 till they have forsaken the ideal of you have to have this ear that's being spoken of. We have to have that ear. What is it talking about? What is it talking about when they keep saying that ear? No one on the earth could care less about what that ear is, what that ear was, and what that ear it stands for, because their understanding is strictly out of the flesh realm of their own fleshly body. That means they are using they have shadow banned my page. So from my phone level, and at first they didn't do it, but I guess they caught on to who it was, and they shadow banned it just like they did my laptop. They put something to stop this message from going out into the airway. And I noticed that. I'm like, wait a minute, they are good at this here. They good at it. I'm gonna give them that. They good at it. And I don't, you know what? I don't blame them. You better shadow ban this sister here. Okay. But it's for who the Most High have assigned it for. And in spite of them shadow banning it, because they can control the media, these phones and these laptops, but guess what? They can't shadow ban the truth of the whole matter that I'm speaking into the air. That's what's important. It's being spoken. Okay. So they can't destroy that. But let me get to the topic. The topic is the ear. And this is not a natural ear in which many people, I say 99.9, think that's where they get their wisdom, and their knowledge in their own and their understanding. They believe it's what they hear and what people are saying is how they're gaining something, but they don't understand. There is an ear that was assigned to certain people. This ear is not for everybody. That's going back, let's say the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, the Hebrew Israelites would say, well, this book, this Bible is about us. This is our history. This is talking about us. But guess what? Can they hear? No, they can't. They can't hear. But they want to call this book being their history. and this book being about them. But can a book be about you when you can't hear what is being said? You can't even walk in the same book that you say is your history. You can't even talk in the same book that you say is your history. So right there, it shows you that there's an issue. Let me see. Yep. Yep, they already own that. They own this phone already. I'm telling you, they know that this sister here is not speaking trash. She's speaking the heaviest level on the face of the earth of spirit and truth. They know it. So that's why I say I don't blame them. But they also know that they can't control it because spirit and truth rules. Okay. I know many of you all might not know that. Matter of fact, I know you don't know it. Spirit and truth rules. It rules with the light. You see, it is the light. Okay. So, and it is all truth, meaning the spirit of the Most High is all truth. And those that he has given the truth to speak in the spirit realm, they are the only one that's capable of being able to speak at that level. And see, the thing about it is, just as Satan knew that it was something about Job, Satan, when the Most High said to Satan, "Where are you going?" He said, "To and fro, seeing who I may devour." When he actually wanted to hand Job over to Satan, Satan said, I know what's going on with that. And that's what I'm trying to say to you all. That's what the ear is. The ear is not something that everyone has, okay? It is a spirit that Yah has branded all of his spirits to have an ear to hear. That's why we cannot take a book and make it the word. I don't care how many books they took out. I don't care how many books they added. I don't care what Enoch said. No one can override the word. And the word is coming. This word that I'm speaking of is coming to individuals who have the ear to hear. I learned that the power of the ear is like unto the brand. The Father has branded spirits of his that he sent down to return back to him. He has branded their spirit, okay, so that they will no doubt return. But he's given them something from the kingdom. He's given them his righteousness. He's given them his belief. He's given them his fear. He's given them his faith. Oh, yes. These are all things man can't give you. You see? These are all powerful seals that brands, seal, you can say seal or you can say brand, that the Holy Spirit, the Most High, has branded us with. You see? That we come down here already, how would I say it, anointed and appointed to serve him. So what has happened? Here I see the ear. And when I see that ear, I'm sitting here saying, hold up now, hold up. I had to bounce off of the beginning of Genesis. I had to go all the way to the beginning. And this is the reason why I say people. The book is not the word. This book is not the final word of the Most High Yah. Furthermore, it can't come close to spirit and truth. It has things in it that are a partaker in because they took it from the scrolls. Okay, so what he said is the same thing he said to Satan when he wanted to, he was handing Job over to Satan. Satan wasn't gonna go for it because he knew what Job meant to the Most High. But Satan was saying, if you just put your hand on him and touch him, I tell you, I can do something with him. Even Satan knew that the power of the Father was in his hand. And if he put his hand on something, it's all well. But even Satan knew there was limitations. He knew it from the you guys from the beginning. He knew, hey, you ain't finna give me Job. You think I don't know who Job is to you? You ain't about to give me Job. Well, that's how it is with the ear. This is how it is with the ear. The ear has power in front of it and in the back of it. And that's why you hear throughout your study guide, he that has an ear, let him hear. He's calling that individual that he has given the power to hear beyond hearing. What do you mean? This ear can hear beyond your natural ear. Your natural ear cannot go nowhere near that ear that he's speaking of. That's why many people can quote it. The pastors, the bishops, the priests, they all out here can quote. That's another alarm. I had to keep pulling that. Something keep flashing up. But every time he has always wanted us as the one that has the ear to stand away from those who has the natural ear. That helps us who are anointed and appointed and predestined to be a mouthpiece for him, you see, and be that one that worship on this earth as worshiping him from the level of the heaven. A lot of people have ran away and gone their way. You see parables where he had invited a people and they didn't come to the wedding. And he told them to what? Go on the highways and byways. See, don't estimate that you know him to you know him from the floor up. No, you don't. You don't know the Father until you know him based on him being greater in you. You see? So this individual creator, he has given those that belong to him an ear. And that ear that he has given them is for them to be able to distinguish when he's saying something and when flesh is saying something, meaning your flesh or man, not just male, but male and female, people are teaching and preaching. That is not the ear, you guys. That's not the ear. The ear is the one that the Father has branded individuals to hear. What are they hearing? They're hearing spirit and truth being taught to them, and they turn back around and teach what is being taught to them. Teach what? What they can hear. And 99.9 is not what the world has taught them from the King James, the 1611, the Enoch books, and the lost books, and the found books, since they was lost and you have found them. But none of it can overpower the ear. He that has the ear, because they can hear behind hearing if they want to. If they really wanted to, they can hear behind hearing, like I have since I was a teenager. I can hear behind hearing. You see, it's a different gift from the Creator. It's a special gift, and it carries power in front of it and power in the back of it. So when he's saying, he that has an ear, let him hear. What he's telling you to hear is the spirit of him. You can't hear the spirit of the Most High without the ear to hear. So when I hear people say they died and they came back and they told you their experience, I bypass it. I bypass all the things that the flesh can try to tell me about the spirit. I bypass it. That stuff don't mean I can shoot straight through it. Because the individual who have this ear, they have the ability to really use this ear in a form of judgment. They have the ability to hear behind hearing. That means anybody can be talking and you can hear behind what they're saying, meaning you can know if it's right, if it's wrong. People have not used it because they give too much credit to the flesh. They think people who got degrees, certain people, that they know everything, scholars and Bible thumpers and Bible scholars, they just figure, hey, they know all the science. They just figure they know everything. And they lock them into that. But the Father wants you to know that that is not the ear that can hear beyond what they're saying. And what they're saying is not the truth. Okay? They're saying what they understand from their wisdom, from their knowledge, and from their understanding in their flesh. But there's one on the earth. And when I say one, the body of Hamashiach, they can understand way beyond any pastors that's out here teaching on these devil platforms, any pastor that has one church, two church, three church. They cannot override the individuals who are branded with the ear. The ear is a very powerful weapon here on the earth on behalf of Father. So let's rumble. And I'm going to take you from Revelation, and then I'm going to swing you back to assure you that there's power in that ear in which it said that hear it. He's not telling you that you can hear this out of the natural. He's actually telling you that this is something spiritual that I'm charging, the ear that can hear. He's actually letting you know that it's only the individuals that I've given the ear to hear. They hear what my spirit is saying. You get it? To where you cannot sit your tails on this earth and think that everybody is hearing the spirit of the Most High God. You can't win with that lie. But you have one in the world. Because the truth be told, he's actually calling out the individuals that have the ear to hear. Now watch this. The individual have that ear to hear. They have the ear has power in front of it and it has power in back of it. This is what gives this ear the ability to hear the spirit of the Most High speaking. You just can't pull up in your flesh and say you hear what the spirit is saying. No, you can't. I know it. That's how they taught you and your preachers and your pastors, your bishops, your apostles, your priests, your prophets, your prophetess, your Morees, your seers and watchmen. Yes, they have lied as well since the beginning of time. And here it is, year 2026. They still lying to you. And you still thinking you eating full meal deal from their lies. They don't have the words to hear for you to hear it. They can't preach and teach it to you that you may hear it. No, because they only can teach you King James Bible. They can teach you the 1611, the Enoch books, the Lost books, the Found books. They can teach you all that. But guess what? You're still missing. Because if you don't have the ear, you don't have that ear to hear what the Spirit is saying, hey, you done missed the whole time. And this is another reason why people are missing out. When the Father told Satan and charged him that there's a limitation to Job. Just only do what you can do, but there's limitations. When the Father is saying that right here today, when the Jesuits and the Roman Catholics and the Jewish so-called community, when they all got together and decided to make a book to rule the world with, they did some job on you all. Really deep job. when they created this book, guess what? They created preschool, they created elementary, they created high school, they created college, they created trade school, they created every religion on the face of this earth. They started it and created it. You see? So this is what you're living by. The creation of those who rule the world. So you can't take a book that they created and make it the word. The word is spirit and it is truth. It is not a paperback book. I double dare you, on top of double daring you, to take this book and go in the hospital and see if you can put this book on anybody and deliver them. See if you can deliver yourself from all your addictions. You cannot deliver anyone from the words out of this book. You can only deliver someone by the power of the spirit of he that lives in thee. See? He didn't even turn it over to the books. But what he did allow them is the same thing he allowed Satan to do. Satan to go after Job and do what he wanted, but he had limitations. That's what they did with the book. But the Father charged them. They had to take some truth. They couldn't just make this book totally their way. He still put limitations on the books that they made. King James 16 got limitations. And that is, there's a limitation where he that has an ear to hear can hear the spirit of the Most High Yah speaking in these words, certain words in this book. That's why it's important that you study it thyself and rightly divide something. What are you dividing? What is there to divide? Truth. That's if truth rests in you. Only one can give you that is the Holy Spirit. That's why you cannot take these books and make them the word. Because what does that say about that one that's supposed to come and comfort us and give us power and teach us all things? How can that be if you already got all that you need in front of you? That's why I think it's really sickening for us as people who say that we are the Hebrew Israelites. So what? So what? You see? If you want to say this book is about you, you're more of a fool than you even thought you were. You know why? If this book is about you, why haven't you learned anything from the book in which you have read? Why haven't you taught what you reading out of this book? They can't even stand on the book itself as a way of living by. They don't abide by it. They use it as an iron claw to defend even their wickedness and their sin. But I come to tell you about the ear that hear. The ear to hear is so powerful. It carries power in the front of it and power in the back. You think I knew that myself? No. But the Spirit began to tell me why it's important that those who understand that the same limitations that he gave, not the same, but he gave Satan limitations toward Job. Same thing here. When they wrote this book, they had limitations. They had to keep the light on, people. They put whatever they want in here, but they had to keep the light on. Why? Because Sister Deborah's coming. Sister Deborah's stepping on the scene. My servant is stepping on the scene. She got to be able to see me. She got to be able to hear me. You see? She's stepping on the scene. So all the stuff that they thought they ruled because they created this book, wait a minute, hey, wait a minute, but mine's going to come on the scene and debunk what you thought you created. Why? Because she's bringing the word. See, y'all had your words and you deceived the whole world by it. But now I'm sending minds who have the word in them. They're walking word by spirit and by truth. Now watch this here. When I got into Revelation, I realized in Revelation, it kept saying something. And I kept saying, wait a minute, hold up. I had to get away from the 7 churches. You have to get away from it because it's a scheme. Okay? So I got stuck somewhere and I started highlighting and I said, hold up, you're talking to a certain one. Yes, people, the Father is not talking to the world. He's talking to the one that he has given the ability in them, first and foremost, his own spirit. Okay? His own brand. So the world might have a brand of wisdom. He gives his brand to his servant. The world might have a brand of knowledge. He gives his knowledge to his servant. The world might have a brand of righteous. He gives his righteous to his servant. A world might hear one another. I give my ear to those who hear it, my spirit. See, we didn't grip the whole thing at one time because he's a spoon feeder. He don't give us the whole full meal deal. He spoon feed us. Even to this very day, he's still showing us things we never seen and we never understood. So I went into Revelation and I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. This book ain't even for everybody like everybody think it is. No, it's not. Because there's something in this book for the spiritual ones. And it's something in this book for the worldly. But he that has an ear, by him having the ear, guess what? He can hear with the book or without it. That's the difference. He that has an ear has the power in them to hear what the Spirit is saying. So the Spirit would have to be in you for you to have the spiritual ear to hear. He's talking to you. He's not talking to anyone. So this is what he told them. Keep the light on. Where did they go? They went to the stores and pulled out everything that they possibly can to make sure they keep the light on. Why? Because he knew. He told them that. Because he was sending his true servant to where we can speak and use this book to bring his truth out of it from their life. You get it? Now watch this. When I get to Revelation chapter 2, I get in here to Revelation chapter 2 and it says something in verse 7. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 7. He that has an ear, and notice it don't say ears. Anytime it said ear, that's spiritual, you guys. I know a lot of y'all don't know that, but yes, that when it says ears, that's 2 ears. That's natural. That's flesh ears. But here it says in Revelation chapter 2, in Revelation chapter 2 and verse 7, he that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit, what the who? Wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute, hold on. What the Spirit, no, hold up. What John has said. How about that? Hey, what John has said. No. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit say unto the churches. He's speaking to the Spirit is the only one that knows that he ushered the ear to hear to individuals to speak to the body of Hamashiach. So while y'all out here on this devil platform listening to all this trash, that's why so many of you are still lost and can't find your way home. And ain't even halfway home. Oh, but you're going to get there if it's in you. Oh, the Father, if the Father already sealed you, you're going to make it there. But there's going to be a struggle on top of a struggle because we're in such a critical time. And sometimes, a lot of times, it's the choices that you make it. because you so wanting to hang on to the darkness of the world and their belief, you can't come on in to the light because you're holding on too much darkness out in the world. Because they didn't taught you as to what the book said. It's what the book said, and that's what they whooping you across your head with the book, to where the Holy Spirit is saying something to you, and now you stressed out, you bent out, you up and down, going to and fro, trying to figure this thing out, and in the process, trying to find your way home. Okay, but you too ignorant because you're still in the darkness, not even on understanding. You're already at home, bro. Home is in you. But you battle that. You battle the fact that, wait a minute, I'm there already. But it said this. It said this. What said that? All the Bible, the Enoch book, the lost books, and they preaching and they teaching it. You see? That's when people are still in darkness. They're still got a lot of suffering to do because they reject what is already in them. They know that they know something that the world don't know. And instead of them holding on to what is in them that's greater in them, they turn to the world and say, the world truly have to know more than I do. These scientists, these scholars, these Bible thumpers, these believers have to know more than me. You see? So listen to this. In Revelation chapter 2, verse 7, it says, he that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit say unto the church. Let him hear what the Spirit is saying to the church, which is the body of Hamashiach. See, he's saying something to the church, but the church over in somebody else's church built with bricks. They everywhere they ain't got no business to be, but they over there tampering with stuff that don't mean nothing. And it's what comes with that suffering. Endurance. Unnecessary suffering, because you can, and it brings a whole lot of stress on you, because you're trying to figure out, surely everybody can't be wrong and I'm right, so it has to be they right and I'm wrong. That's how people who has it in them, that's how they think. I'm serious, and it become mental. Oh yes. So listen to this. When I looked in Revelation chapter 2, I noticed it's wanting you to understand in Revelation. It's wanting you to understand what the Spirit is saying. It wants you to understand what the Spirit is saying. Then when you get to same Revelation, chapter 11, chapter 2, same chapter 2, verse 11. Now in Revelation chapter 2 and verse 7, it says, he that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit said unto the church. The Spirit is saying something to the church. You see? Now, what if the pastor is saying something? What if the bishop is preaching? What if the pastor is preaching? Can they hear the Spirit? No. Because it's speaking to the body of Hamashiach. You see? The Spirit is saying something to the ones that has the ear, you guys. It's not saying something to a church or religion or belief or nation or nationality. That's not what he's saying. He's saying those who have something that I put in them, which is an ear to hear, let you hear what the Father in the kingdom has to say. You see? And that's throughout the whole book. That's part of them keeping the light on. You see? They kept the light on, even though the world don't pay a rat's behind about the ear to hear. You ain't gonna get the pastor teaching it, the bishops, priests. Nobody's telling you about this one that said he that has an ear. What is that ear? When he gave everybody 2 ears, what is that ear? It's spiritual, but you ain't gonna get them to teach it and preach it. Okay, look at verse 11. We're still in chapter 2 of Revelation. In verse 11, he said, he that has an ear, let him hear the Spirit, what the Spirit says unto the church. That's in verse 11. Why is he? You mean to tell me we caught up in who is the 7 churches? But we fail to realize who it is the body of Hamashiach that he's speaking to. He's speaking to a people that has the spirit in them to hear what the spirit is saying to them, because they have the spiritual ear to hear the spirit that's in them speak unto them. Okay, so as you see here in Revelation chapter 2 and verse 7, Revelation chapter 11, Revelation chapter 2 and verse 11, and then you go down to Revelation chapter 2, we're still in the same chapter, verse 17. In Revelation chapter 2 and verse 17, it says, he that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches. You see that? You think he's talking about you going up the street to a church that got 3,000 members? You think he's really talking about that's the church? You think he's talking about Joyce Meyer Church, Joel Epstein, T.D. Jakes Church? That's not the church. He already know what church he's talking about. He's talking about that one he gave the power to hear. Because the ear that he gave them is a spiritual ear to hear the spirit of the Most High Yah. You cannot teach and preach anything that has to do with the word of Yah without having the ear to hear what the spirit of Yah is saying. So here in Revelation chapter 2 and verse 29, in Revelation chapter 2 verse 29, it says, and he that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the church. So we will bypass all of that. All that he's saying is, wait a minute, y'all, there is a people that I have given an ear to hear. They carry the word. So when we get locked up in Revelation, he talking to the 7 churches. No, he's talking to the body of Hamashiach, and he's talking to only the one in the body of Hamashiach that has the ear that he has given them. And it is a spiritual ear. It's not a flesh ear like yours and mine. It's not that ear. He's talking about a spiritual ear to hear a spiritual creator. Okay, so when you get to same Revelation chapter 2 and verse 29, it says it again. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the church. There you go again. Now let's go to chapter 3. Revelation chapter 3. In Revelation chapter 3 and verse 6, what does it say? We in chapter 3 now. Revelation chapter 3 and verse 6. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches. You see? The church is what some would say, as it is written in this book, saints, but it is those that are in the body of Hamashiach. He has given you an ear to hear what the Spirit is saying. Who is the Spirit? The head. Christ is the head of the body. And we know that Christ is the Son of Yah. It's Yah himself that came down with the Son of Man, in the Son of Man. You see? So here in Revelation chapter 3 and verse 6, he's telling you again. So what is it we are missing? It didn't start in Revelation where he's charging the ear to hear. It started throughout the way man orchestrated the book. He kept saying to us, he that has an ear, let him hear. And in that hearing, you can hear what Yah is saying, and you can hear what man has said. Through what? the spirit that's in you would tell you when if this here, when it says, and Yah said, you can know if it's what I said because of the spirit that's in you. You'll know what is and what is not. Okay? That's rightly dividing the word of truth. You're dividing what is the word of truth from the word of man. That's all it's about. And no one ever figured it out. No one never thought if it says rightly dividing. Wait a minute, we got to rightly divide something in this book. Why do anything need to be divided in this book if it is the word? Why do it need to be divided? You see how they left the light on? And the light is simply some truth has to remain. Because I'm sending mass. And they're going to knock this mess out the ballpark. You see? So here in Revelation chapter 3 and verse 6, it says, he that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit said unto the churches. Then it comes to same Revelation chapter 3, and it says it in verse 22. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit said unto the church. Now, Sister Deborah tried to explain to y'all in the beginning that this ear has power in front of it and it has power in the back of it. You want me to show you where? Let's go to Genesis. So all this time, when people are lost with the cause and without, it's a way of themselves because they're rejecting the truth. If the world, this is the greatest thing for me to even digest at this time in my living, is that how is it that those who rule these platforms can distinguish that Sister Deborah is saying something, even though she the least and the less on these platforms, versus those that got hundreds and millions and thousands and millions of subscribers. You're not picking and nitpicking at them. Why? Because they're not saying anything. That leads me to understand they are in full understanding of spirit and truth. They would have to be. The darkness that rules from the tip level is fully in understanding truth, spirit and truth, to where they would come on this page like now. They my daughter says called shadow banding, but they have banned it that no one else come to this page except for those who are the norm that will come when I do lives or when I do videos on my laptop. They froze everyone else that was tuning in. They didn't like that. We can't get nobody. She can't have nope. You see how dangerous it is for Sister Deborah to be on these platforms? You see, not for me, but for many, for those who are in the dark. You see how dangerous it is that they can come out of, you know what, and you know what they're sad about it? You can sit here and stand on the top of a mountain and speak it, and the ears of people still can't grip it. They still couldn't grip it. And that's why I'm just so grateful to have the Most High Yah. I am so grateful because in it all, I'm not alone. Because I think of that. I said, well, why is it the people that they can't see it, they can't grip it, but the world who rules darkness know that you are speaking something very powerful, but they can't grip it. That's sad. So here it is. When I got to Genesis, this is what he wanted me to do. He said, now, you remember in Genesis, you understood, Deborah. This is what he told me. You understood and you understand the fullness of the word let. you knew that was my power coming in. As I spoke the word, my power brought forth what I spoke. So he wanted me to look into Genesis and see the word let. In the book of Genesis, chapter 1 alone, it says, let there be, in verse 3. And it was. And in verse 6, it says, let there be, and it was. They brought it forth. His power brought it forth. Then in Genesis chapter 1, verse 9, he says, let the water, and the power brought forth what he said, let. Then in verse 11, he said, let the earth. And what the earth, the power brought what he said regarding the earth. In verse 14, he said, let there be. And the power brought forth what his word said, let there be. In verse 20, Genesis chapter 1, verse 20, he said, let the water. And his power brought forth what his word said, let the water. Verse 24, in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 24, he said, let the earth. And his power brought forth what he said, let the earth. Verse 26, he said, let us make man. And his power of him own self, which it was from the beginning in all the creation, brought forth what he said, let us bring forth. Now, look at the power of that, y'all. Go all the way to the end. Revelation. When you go back to Revelation 2 and verse 7, notice it says, Revelation chapter 2 and verse 7, he that has an ear, let. You see that let? Let him. You see? He calling the order. That what I have invested in you, let that ear hear. You see that power? It's that same let that created the whole world. Sending a statement to you all today that has the ear to hear. Let him hear. He gave an order, whether you hear or not, let him hear. What if Sister Deborah couldn't hear? What has taken place throughout time. But the order was always there. Let him hear. Like unto what? Let there be in the beginning of creation. Then you go into Revelation chapter 2 and verse 11. He that has an ear, let. You see that power? That power of let. That power bring forth your ear, which is a spiritual ear to hear what the all-power one is saying. You see that? Let him. So if you are here today and throughout all those times it was saying let, not just in Revelation, it was an order, it was an authority that was in front of that ear and in back of it to give it the power to really hear what the Spirit is saying. Even Yeshua pulled up. He that has an ear, let him hear. What is this let? Let. It's that power that's going to bag up that ear to hear. It's in the front of that ear and it's in the back of that ear and in the front of that ear. Guaranteed that ear to hear. That's deep. That's deep. And here we are still out here going to and fro. Too much darkness in your living. Too much darkness in your mind and in your heart. Too much darkness is in your ears and in your eyes. Too much darkness is in you, even in your heart. To your ear cannot hear. The order and the power that is in front of that ear and in the back of that ear that you may hear. Look at verse 17. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 17. He that has an ear, let. There go that same power that created everything in the beginning. He's actually telling the power, let her hear. Ooh, wait. He's actually telling the power, let her hear. See what I'm saying? You're a long ways from home. So when you get to verse in Genesis verse 29, it says, and he that has an ear, let him. See that power? Giving the authority to the power to let that ear, that spiritual ear hear. Because you can be bombarded by the world and the cares of the world and the issues of the world and the ways of the world. You become detached to. Many people are not going to make it home. I know they think they're home already, but many people are not going to make it home. I really, really believe that there's many people portraying to be what they really not. And I think that in this day and time, it's like unto my father showing me an example. This is what he showed me an example of how heaven's had all up in the kingdom. But he prepared the earth for you to clown. Woo! The earth is down here for you to clown on, so that you won't use the kingdom where he sits. You see how Sister Deborah be telling y'all people be down here clowning? Just clowning. Because they thinking they're getting away with something. They thinking, oh, when I can do this, I can be this, I can portray to be this, I can portray to be this, I know I'm this, I know all this stuff. They clowning. And that's what I keep telling y'all. They down here acting like a circus. That's all they doing. They buying circuit tickets on this devil platform, just clowning. Going to and fro. Don't know if they're going or if they're coming. Just going all over the place. So here in Revelation chapter 3 and verse 6, it's the same thing. And he that has an ear, let. You hear that power of that let? Okay. And in Revelation chapter 3 and verse 22, that's the end. And he that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit is saying. See, this is what y'all don't understand. Now, if the Father has anointed and appointed us, okay, he's predestined us, he's ordained us, why are we down here acting a fool? Why are we down here trying to teach another gospel? As if there's another one. You see? But the world wants to portray that the gospel is the book. And they don't understand. The gospel is the power. Okay? Paul explained that. Paul explained that. But no one received it. But I know it to be the power of the kingdom, showing you who rule. So it's just so much going on in this world today to where people are getting more embedded in the way of the world, and they can't see no other way but that way. They are getting so embedded to where they're getting relaxed in it to where it got to be the way the world is telling them. Let me give you an example. Let me show y'all something that no one never thought about. When the United States went to let you all know about a war over in Iran, people, country on this earth is working extra hard. Their leaders extra hard to do with the power of that 1% that rules the four corner tell them to do. Okay? And what they're telling them to do is we got to bring it into a one world government. We got to find ways to bring and depopulate, I think I'm saying that right, the people, so that we can get this into a one world system the way we want to, for us the control of the people. We need less people. People in this country is I believe is the weak link to the world, because people always thought they were the head. So I believe they were always the tail, because they're going to be the tail end. And when I think of being here in this country, in which I know that going to be the number one country that Yah chose to bring down with his mighty right hand, in this way in which he's going to, I look at the fact that I said, now, as I sit here minding my own business, yes, do I go on YouTube? Do I talk? Yes. But it's just a sad thing. It's a sad thing to be in the presence of the Most High Yah, meaning him in me and my spirit in him, and we are one. Just being there knowing that even their war is about depopulation. Is it depopulation? Ending lives. And I don't think that the people in this world really get it. They don't really get it. They don't get that. To them, look at look at what they're doing in your face, while they're sending all of your sons and daughters over there to be destroyed. And no one says a word. No one gets it. No one really gets it. Now, are they going to be destroyed? People are going to be destroyed in Iran? Yes. You see? But they don't care either. That's a part of it. I don't know if you all understood 9/11. And I sit back in this country and realize all those years, and the day it happened, I looked at Bush and I said, you no good dog. You knew it. You knew it. That's why you was placed in the place where the most innocent human beings, which were children, the day of it. He was reading the books with the children in preschool. The Bush, the look on his eyes told me, because I can read eyes. When I saw his eyes, you no good dog. You knew that this country did. I knew instance that was just, it wasn't no, it didn't have nothing to do. But did they watch? Hear what I'm saying? What about the 2 planes? What about all the people in the trade building? What about all the firefighters? What about Pentagon? What about all those people, y'all, that lost their lives? And nobody in this country even, oh man, they don't even, it's like, so what? So what? You see? You see where this the mindset of this country, no matter what they do it straight in your face. That's why they moved to the COVID so easy. And another thing, when it was 9/11, then in 2008, when they took all the people homes, I'm saying, you mean them people this country ain't gonna say nothing? They just taking your home for nothing, and you ain't got nothing to say. Did it so nice and swift. It was all a part of where they at today. We can do anything now, and that's they right. They can. They can do anything to these people in this country and to you. You done sold yourself to the point where you're not even worth a half of a cent. Because if you don't see how all these things that they're doing, even in the COVID situation, what did they do with all those bodies they stuck in them freezers, them 50-foot trucks and in them freezers? They would put them in freezers. What did they do with them? They didn't even give them to you to bury your family. They didn't let you see your family, because it was all about shutting all the organs down, getting them in there, shutting their organs down. That's all it was about, so that they could tell you they passed away. They did stuff that I'm sitting back still trying to see, how is it that the people in this country will stand back? So that's the same way they're going to be standing when it ends, to the point they're going to fall over, because they're going to come to their knees based on their own nation. And what you mean by own nations, what a lot of Europeans have no idea. They're going to see their own Europeans destroy them. because that's what's really happening, and they still can't see it. A lot of times it's because darkness is so heavy in their hearts. They want to blame another race to ease that darkness, or to blame another nationality. But the truth be told, that's how they're gonna see themselves go down. That's how they're gonna go to their knees. Their own kind. Their own kind. Their own kind is not gonna come after nobody but them. See that, you guys, they don't get it. They have no idea that the creator is coming for a people. Those people are going to the wilderness. So who is that going to leave here? Do Donald Trump them know all that? Do the elites who rule the world know it? And they're going to look you straight in your eyes and take you out with no mercy. And through suffering. So Sister Deborah, would definitely say, anybody grafted in, you better be grafted in. And I ain't mean your own definition of grafted in. You better be grafted in. And you're not grafted in to bow down to Israel and Judah. I say Judah. No. That's not the grafted. Grafted in is grafted in through the spirit. It's not grafted in through the flesh. So it's no coming in through the flesh realm in the way the flesh wants you to come in the way the flesh think you should come in. You're going to be grafted in through the spirit. But when he pull up all us out, we're all going to go to the wilderness. And there he will leave Judah and Israel. They're in the wilderness and take what he's taken over to the promised land. But see, who do they leave here? Y'all see the point I'm making? They don't grip that. None of them grip that. And it's not meant for them to grip it. So I might be saying something out of line. It's not meant for them to grip it. But I told you all in many videos that everything the United States is doing in this country, it has no irreverence to trying to do away with those that he's taking. How can he take them if they do something? How can he take what he said he's going to take out of here? How can he do that if they have their way and they take them out? They can't. So he has to have those there to take them out. Even those he's going to purge out, even those he's going to take the rebels out that transgress against him, they have to still be there for him to take out. You get what I'm saying? So what I believe is the Europeans have no idea everything that's happening in this world is really targeting them, even their own nation. That's what it meant in Matthew chapter 24. Nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. We know that melanated people, let's say Judah, don't have no kingdom. See, that's what they don't, stuff like that, they don't think. This stuff don't grip them. It don't bother them. And that's just like the days of even probably Noah. Nothing bothers us. We in here for the long haul. And it's not meant for them to grip it. It's not meant for them. But I will say that important for us to be taken from among to the wilderness, it would have to be also those that are grafted in to be taken out. So we would all be taken out into the wilderness. Now, the same thing, what I'm seeing, y'all, like I'm telling y'all, they can use us constantly as the downfall, like they talking about giving a lot of African reparations and giving those who was immigrants reparations. They doing that to show us, to get back at us. That's their best way that they can get back at us, is to show us they ain't giving us nothing, and they gonna give everybody and they ain't gonna give us nothing. we ourselves as Judah has to give ourselves something, and that is the Most High Yah is what we need, and we don't need what they have to give. We need to really focus on where we need to be standing before the Most High Yah, not where we need to be standing in this world and what they talking about and what they doing and how they doing it and the way that they doing it, because that's what they want us to do. Keep asking them for reparations while they give it to everyone else, knowing they figure that they defeating the purpose, but at the same time, they feel that they are helping their nationality see them do us a certain way. And that's the scary part about how they are putting all the people in this country in danger with the Most High Yah. But the people are already in danger because they got the same mindset, they got the same heart, and it's in them. Many people think that it's if you had to portray the role, like with me, I can see lots of mixed couples giving up their children and their wives giving up their husbands to go into uh, their nationalities. I can see that in the war. I mean, and when I say the war, if you think that this year with Iran is a war, you ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till the nations against nations and kingdom against kingdom. Because what they're going to do is the guns and everything that they're saving to have this war. Oh, they saving y'all. They saving to really fight this battle. They really feel that the battle is also somewhat detached to Judah. They have no idea, no baby. It's going to be the war of your survival against your own kind. Y'all get the point I'm making? When that's how it's going to pan out. They're going to be warring against their own kind, and they're gonna have no idea that it ain't going to be against Judah. See, Judah is going to be leaving. See what I'm saying? So therefore, who's going to be left? And that's what a lot of y'all don't understand. Who's going to be here for them to nation against nations and kingdom against kingdom? Them. It's going to be their turf against each other. It's going to be them against each other. Why? Because you was the head, now you the tail, and now the tail and your head and your tail is fighting with each other as nation against nation, which means people against people, kingdom against kingdom. One thought that they were higher than the other. One felt that they had a greater kingdom than the other. So all of this is how it's going to pan out. And those that are grafted in is going to end up with Judah and Israel coming out of here. They're going to be added into that. But these people, they have no idea what's before them. Let me explain something to you. The Father don't care about how you fake it on the outside. It's about who you are on the inside. He already know who you are. He knows whose side you're already on. So it's no faking it to determine if you're going to make it. No, he already know who you are. So it's a lot of things. Even when he get us to the wilderness and start purging out the rebels and those who transgressed against him, what do you think that he gonna purge them out for? For them to get right then and there? No, it's to separate them from what he's taking to Mount Zion. They're gonna be left there in the wilderness, identical to the first exit. They was left in the wilderness. That's where they died. Now, will they have Yah in the wilderness? No. They will have no part of Yah to deliver them while in the wilderness. You see? And they probably would say, well, why did you take us out of Babylon? It's to bring us here to destroy us. You see? You might have many of them saying exactly that, but it doesn't matter what you say. Everything is going to rumble his will and his way. And everything is very clearly seen. And that's why I stand and I say, but Father, the people still can't see it. And a lot of times I'm saying that it's not so much as Judah not seeing what they should be, but it's also the Europeans not seeing their tower is coming down, and who's bringing it down? Their own kind, and they can't even see it. So when they seeing them fighting in this country with Iran, I think this is all a part of the plan, you guys. I'm gonna be honest. The plan is we don't care what kind of people, how many die, whether they babies, their kids, their children. That's not a part of we don't care. We ain't gonna let none of that affect us. We just want to eliminate the population. And I think that's how they're going to do the United States of America. It's all about bringing it down low so they can destroy it. And guess what happens after that? Once they have gotten the people killed off during the war, they're going to go into using pestilence, using something to sickness to bring some more out. After that final sickness that they're going to eliminate populations through, then that's when they're going to allow the war from within, and that's where the nation's going to be going against their own kind. They can't go against Israel and Judah. Why? They're going to be gone. And now one of them pinpointed it. And now one of them thought it. So the war is them saving up guns and saving food and everything. Yes, it ain't gonna mean a rat's behind, because he gonna let you fight your own. He gonna let, and it ain't gonna be nobody on your left. Now just imagine if Judah was here and how they fought the wars and how they put melanated people into the war to fight with them. They would fight with the Europeans to the core. They would fight side by side with them. But guess what? The Father ain't gonna let them fight. He's gonna take them out of here, and he's gonna let the nation against nation, which is going to sum up to 100% Europeans fighting against Europeans. That's what America. You want to make America great? That's what you didn't understand. When Trump said make America great, it was all partaker in what he knew that was in Revelation. Destroy Babylon, that great city. You see? So he knows, the elites knows, they know that it's okay. It is, they have already had planned it up and planned it down. It's okay to destroy their own nation. They got it set up like that. See, so why they and Europeans thinking it's about, okay, we black people, we get rid of them and everything's gonna be okay. Or they the one this, they the one. No, 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 no. It's about your own nation coming down. You've been the head, now you're gonna feel the tail, but it's gonna be to the point of death. So Sister Deborah, I hope you got something out of it. But even if you didn't, I know that I did. I understood that let was a power of when the word said let, it gave power to create all things. And here it's saying let, as if let that ear that I have given thee hear what the Spirit is saying unto the church, which is the body of Hamashiach. So Sister Deborah, say unto you all, I hope that you did get something out of it. And I say, I will be back at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Central Time, and I will be back. Shalom and shalom.